really what should be happening in Joburg specifically. Do you know, like in Joburg right now, you need to pay 200 Rand just so that you have the ability to buy electricity. In the beginning of the month, if you buy 300 Rand electricity, 200 Rand gets deducted and you're only getting 100 Rand prepaid electricity. So whichever mayoral candidate wants to get rid of that silly thing, that's the one you should vote for.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the On the Country podcast.
Am I allowed to swear there?
It's with
Yeah, I know he said let's not blame the government.
It's just sad when we start them becoming indoctrinated. No view on me.
Hi guys, Emilio, Tobias here, and welcome back to another episode of the On the Country podcast. This one feels heated, man. It feels heated. Hellen Zille this weekend just announced, finally, that she will be the one running for Joburg mayor. And there are some mixed reactions. I was already gonna do this video, but then I just saw the interview with her and Anele on 947. I'm guessing it happened this morning, but I saw it after the morning. That thing riled me up and made me uneasy and was very anxiety inducing. So trigger warning if you're gonna watch that interaction with Hellen Zille and Anele. But this is what I wanted to talk about. I want to get away from ideology when it comes to who Joburg residents might be voting for, especially for local government. As far as possible, let's leave ideology out of the thing. And this is why I say so. Yes, people are going to come up with the fact that Cape Town is the best run city, but it's only the best run city if you can afford to live in the inner city. It's not the best run city if you're living in the townships, if you're living in Langa, if you're living in Mitchell's Plain, all those things. Sure. Currently the state of Johannesburg is not only are the townships not being run well, but now the inner city is also not being run well. So what do we do when everything is not run well? Do we try get to a place where some of it is run well, like in Cape Town, where they say some of it is run well? What is the prospects of a future where not even the rich areas are being looked after properly? So that's where I was at with this discussion. I'm obviously not endorsing anyone, but I wanted to discuss this Hellen Zille thing with an open mind. So I think a lot of people do feel like Hellen Zille stands a good chance. A lot of people do feel like that Hellen Zille is capable of running a successful city. And then some of the questions would be about, but how do you handle this thing? We can have a critical conversation without ideology. Nah? And I think sometimes those of us on the left, we can perform better in our debates and we can still win debates and arguments, leaving ideology off the table. For example, man, the fact that townships are dirty, yes, it is an indictment on local government because poor people or people of color, black color people, aren't necessarily dirty people. Someone said something to me about the correlation between poverty and how the quality of what you call this thing, townships. Township people aren't dirty people. When I was growing up, we'd wake up, whenever you wake up on a Saturday, obviously, I don't know what was happening during the week because I was in school, but people would be like, sweeping the yards, sweeping outside the yards, and sweeping like the street just outside. Like every weekend was spring cleaning, but people would like even clean their houses daily. So it's not the dirtiness of a township has nothing to do with the people who live there, because normally what happens when your services are being run badly, refuse removal, poor sewer management, and all those things, then people have to decide like, yo bruh, my bin is getting full, we need to designate a spot in the community. Sometimes that's on your corner, sometimes it's on a corner or open felt close by, but we need to designate a place where we're going to throw all of this rubbish. And when that overflows, now the whole township just looks like everyone is dirty. The wind blows that stuff all over. So it's not necessarily true that people are like inherent poor people or people of color are dirty people. Quite the opposite. Quite the opposite. But if you have nowhere to throw your rubbish needs to go outside of your yard. So that's where the dirtiness comes from. So when you criticize DA for how poorly what's the name is run, how poorly townships are run, you must criticize them on that front. Not that it may be a race thing, but we don't have to debate it in a racial manner, because a lot of, like, even the argument with Anele, Anele made an argument that if you're in a township, it's very difficult to move to Camps Bay. There's very few things that will allow you to get to Camps Bay. Hey, bruh, I don't know if that's a local government problem. I don't know if that's a local government problem. I don't even know if that's a national government problem. Yes, we need to fix the divides and the opportunities for those in the townships to one day be able to afford a place in Camps Bay. But it is also not necessarily easy, even if you were born with a spoon in your mouth, to be able to afford a place in Camps Bay, unless of course your father already lives in Camps Bay. So it's also a conversation about what really can the government do for you, and are we in a state where we've been lied to about the types of improvements government can make in your life. I think Hellen Zille in this interview mentioned like 5 or 6 things that local government really does. They provide roads, some clinics, not schools or education, refuse removal, electricity, water. There's an issue of water in Joburg now. So is Hellen Zille capable? Perhaps. But then the question, what I want this discussion to be about, is really what should be happening in Joburg specifically. Do you know, like in Joburg right now, you need to pay 200 Rand just so that you have the ability to buy electricity. In the beginning of the month, if you buy 300 Rand electricity, 200 Rand gets deducted and you're only getting 100 Rand prepaid electricity. So whichever mayoral candidate wants to get rid of that silly thing, that's the one you should vote for. I don't know how that is divided in the townships. They might be paying slightly less, but I have a strong feeling, I must just double check, that even in the township you're paying 200 Rand to be able to buy electricity. That is rough and that is bad. And everyone who's currently in council voted for that. So how that happened, I don't know. Whichever mayoral candidate is going to come and promise to take that thing away is and maybe should be the one who's going to make it. Then here's a real argument against Hellen Zille. What is Hellen Zille going to do much greater than what Herman Mashaba did when he was a mayor? Herman Mashaba took care of, or he did allocate time to townships. He did not prioritize cutting the grass in the suburbs. Instead, he did also make a plan that some services or some some of the stuff were allocated and given to the townships, given to the inner cities. A big thing Aman Mashaba did, which was a long-term project, and I think DA removed him prematurely for their own ideological things. For their own ideological things. So maybe they must bite the bullet now, even though I'm arguing for no ideology in local politics. Maybe they must bite the bullet because they removed Herman Mashaba. Herman Mashaba, and you could have been angry with him for it. Herman Mashaba blocked traffic for 2 years. There were 2 years where roads where certain bridges and certain parts of the highway were being fixed, were made bigger, were redone because of poor maintenance. There was a decision that had to be made when I guess no one has checked. You know, sometimes they check the concrete with ultrasound. No one has checked that in years on some of the bridges and highways in Joburg. And they went and did this exercise once. And it turned out the bridge was compromised and they would have no idea when it would or could collapse. And I think other people who are maybe beholden to other things in their political parties might have been scared to make that decision. Herman Mashaba made the decision to shut the highway down immediately. The highway was blocked for 18 to 24 months. And the highways are running smoothly now. Some of the highways had more lanes added to them. And the bridges, we don't know how long they're going to last for, were fixed. So what is Hellen Zille going to do that Herman Mashaba was not willing to do? I think Herman Mashaba, as he kind of has been doing, is staying in Joburg and not pushing himself in the national space. But at the same time, I don't think Herman Mashaba should spend any focus on national politics. He's on a new thing now. He went after Gaten for racism and he went in to the Human Rights Commission, and now he's saying Hellen Zille is just doing this for white people. Like, I think, Brahman, you must stay out of those politics, bruh. You did well in Joburg. If you can just focus on Joburg, you'll become the mayor, and then you must have a big enough mandate to do what you want to do. Leave this national stuff. I think because your party's popularity is dwindling, now you want to resort to things that work for people like Julius Malema. Don't do it. It's not your thing. Stay in the pocket. And I think even when you expand your party nationally, don't do it to be a national, quote-unquote, party. If you're going to take someone like Ethel Trollop and you believe Ethel Trollop was the best mayor in NMB, build the party so that he's the head for, he becomes mayor again under Action SA. Don't even contest nationally. Because some people don't realize the importance of local government. Everyone wants to be at national. Is it for money? Is it for the fee allocation from IEC? I don't know. If you're going to take someone like Ethel Trollop, let him stay in Nelson Mandela Bay. Don't make anyone go national. Let him stay and run the ground here. If you're going to take, who else they took? I don't know. Nasipi Moyo. Yeah, take her, let her push Tswane. And I think apparently she's doing well by all accounts. Apparently things are going down well there. That must be Action SA's modus operandi. Leave national politics for now. Let's fix local government. I think Herman Mashaba should definitely make a good run for it. And the question must be asked, what is Hellen Zille going to do differently than Herman Mashaba? Let Herman Mashaba win, but you are losing votes when you're trying to play in the national game. And now you are making, to get points in the national squad, you are selling your position in local government. And when everyone felt like Herman Mashaba was going to do that, I think that's when he got the most votes. So just stick local. Leave national things alone. Don't comment on anything that's happening in another province. Don't comment on anything happening in any other city. Stick to Joburg, my man. Ethel Trollop is a national now. Let him stick to NMB. But I think the real race is between Herman Mashaba and Hellen Zille. Hellen Zille is maybe just coming with a voting base. But otherwise, I don't think she's going to do anything better than what Herman Mashaba was doing. That's whom I voted go for, not endorsing anyone. Then other parties like PA, I also think PA should have a similar approach to Action SA, even if it is they don't consider themselves a colored party anymore, but I think they're a colored party and they must not shy away from it. I mean, the colored townships are protesting because of no water, but it's not that they're the only townships without water. Apparently, the claim is that when it's time to now fix the issue, every other township around them is prioritized over them. So you have someone like Gaten McKenzie, let's say a 30% party in the Joburg council. Let them get a 30% so that they can speak up when unfair things are happening to certain communities. Give them 30%, give Herman 40, 50, and then the rest can go to DA, ANC. And I think it's also quite clear and obvious that no one wants ANC to run any municipality. And we might interpret or misinterpret Cyril's words, but I think Cyril also knows that ANC is not the best thing, especially on local government level. We can debate and argue nationally what ANC can do for us. But let ANC stay out of local government. Let them contest provincial and national, and then give PA, Action SA, and the DA. Let them do local government. Local government, maybe not even provincial. So that things can be done. And you don't need ideology on a local government level. Just deliver to everyone. Deliver to everyone, collect rates, collect taxes, and spend that money equitably across the board. Run maintenance programs, do capital investment, build new roads, fix roads, maintain roads, do all those things. But hey, check out the interview with Hellen Zille and Anele and let me know what you think of that thing. I think Anele maybe did lose the cool and she failed to remain neutral and wanted to put it to, hey, you know this thing, I get it. We want to put it to a person to say, yo, no, I did ask her the questions about racism and race. But I think maybe, yeah, we must slowly, especially locally, move away from that thing, because even the inner city is a problem now. Even the inner city is a problem now. The ANC and whoever else has been mayor has been unable to at least run the city the way the city is run in Cape Town. So when it's time to fix everything, where do we start? Because the city also is the place where everyone uses. Rich, poor, everyone works there. Whether you have a house in Sandton or a house in Soweto, we both work in Sandton. We both work in town, in the CBD. So let's fix those things first. Leave ideology out of local politics. Let's keep it clean service delivery. That's my view of Joburg and how that vote should go. Action SA, little bit DA, some PA, I don't know everyone else. And EFF, I think EFF is needed. I think EFF must take over completely the place that ANC was taking. I mean, if you look at the MMCs, and I think they have two MMCs. The one guy was MMC of Public Safety, who was in charge of the JMPD. Yeah, JMP has been doing their work. People have been calling me, telling me, hey, when you're in Joburg, don't drink and drive. Make sure you don't drink and drive. The cops definitely will pull you over. And I guess bribes are less likely. I must find out about that. Are you less likely to be asked for a bribe, or is it less likely for a bribe to work? From what I've heard. So EFF, let them overtake every seat that ANC had. And I think in Joburg and Gauteng, those numbers are around 30%. Yeah, give EFF 30% of Joburg. Give PA 30%. give Arman Mashaba enough to be the mayor. And I'm going to do more videos like this as we approach, or as news comes out about other municipalities, about what the makeup should be. Let me know what you think the percentage split should be for the city of Joburg. I don't care who you're voting for. Just tell me, what do you think the best split would be amongst the top 5 or the top 6 parties in Johannesburg? We'll do the same for other cities. But for now, let's do Joburg. Hellen Zille, mayoral candidate. Yeah, okay. Not against it. Not against it. But I wonder now, if they does not get enough votes to be outright mayor in Joburg, is Hellen gonna sit in council? What is she gonna do if she is not mayor? Or is she then just gonna pull out once that happens? Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for watching. I'm Emilio Tobias. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you become a member. Or give me a super thanks. And then, of course, I'm wearing merch by nymachine.co.za. Check them out. All right. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the On the Country podcast.
Am I allowed to swear there?
Yeah, I know we said let's not blame the government.
It's just sad when we start then becoming indoctrinated.
No view on me.